Okay, we got a lot to talk about. Devin Haney versus Liam Paro. Liam Paro versus Richardson Hitchens. Liam Paro beats Subriel Matias at home in an upset. Where do I really even start? So for starters, Subriel Matias lost to Liam Paro. Congratulations to Liam Paro. And full disclosure, I was covering the Tank fight doing a watch party, so I haven't watched the fight. However, of course, BOXINGEGO has trusted sources that relay certain information to me that I can entrust. And they did watch the fight and they told me basically, long story short, Subriel Matias didn't look so hot. So credit to Liam Paro. But for the purpose of this video, I don't really need to watch the fight in order, because I'm not breaking down the fight. You see what I'm saying? This is not a breakdown of what happened in the fight, because I never do that. I don't lie on my channel. So I'm just telling you guys, I haven't seen it if there's specifics that you guys want from me. However, the reason why I'm talking about it is because overall, the judges found Liam Paro to be successful and he got the victory. So Subriel lost his title at home in Puerto Rico, which is crazy. Why is this crazy? Well, for starters, people were coining this phrase, earn with Hearn, and Subriel Matias, his very first fight with Hearn and rematch room, he gets beat. Not only does he get beat, he gets beat at home, which is far worse than getting beat where you're not from. And literally, it almost happened to Regis Prograis on his rematch room debut as well. Regis got dropped in the first round. He definitely didn't look good. So it's funny because Eddie Hearn, he keeps picking up different guys, some of which were on PBC or elsewhere, and he's picking up these guys and working with them, but then it's like they're cursed shortly after. Like I said, Regis Prograis first fight with rematch room, he squeaks by and barely gets a win against an unknown Zorilla guy, and this is at home in New Orleans where Regis Prograis is from. So he barely got by this Zorilla dude, so that was a bad look. Devin Haney chooses to fight him off that performance after a tough fight with Lomachenko, moving up and going back to Eddie Hearn. And then Devin Haney schools Regis Prograis and comes in 25 pounds heavy. And then Devin Haney dominates, and I was at the fight, dominates Regis Prograis. So within 2 fights, Regis Prograis has lost with Eddie Hearn. Really, in his first fight, he should have lost because I watched the Zorilla fight and I thought he lost. So basically, since he's teamed up with Eddie Hearn, he's basically, I'm looking at him as like 0-2, right? Then now you have Subriel Matias, who left PBC. He was doing great. He just had that tough fight with, I think, Ergashev, whatever the dude's name was, came out swinging, and then he retired all these fighters on the stool, back to back to back. So Subriel Matias was developing this boogeyman type of aura around him, and now it's been shattered by the Australian from down under, Liam Paro. So congrats to Liam Paro. Moving on, because I don't even know what Subriel, I don't even know what his next move is, because the boogeyman stuff is over if you're losing in the fashion I heard you lost in, and you lost your title. So I don't, like before, see, this is the thing is, Subriel Matias is a good fighter and he's a dangerous fighter, but now it shows he can be outboxed. But when you don't have a title and you're a dangerous fighter, that makes it rougher, because people might not be chomping at the bit to fight you, and now they have a built-in excuse why they shouldn't fight you, right? They'll be like, oh, he doesn't have a big name, he doesn't have a title, what's the point of fighting him? So I'll be very interested to see what Eddie Hearn even does with Subriel Matias next. Then you got Jaron Ennis. He left. He wasn't actually signed to PBC, but he was working with the same people in Espinoza and on PBC cards. And his very first fight with Rematch Room with Cody Crowley gets canceled, and that was a better fight than David Avocado. So this whole earn with Hearn is looking crazy. Back-to-back occurrences that are weird, like guys almost losing hometown hijinks, Regis Prograis, like I mentioned, Subriel Matias, Jerron Boots Ennis, who shows a lot of potential, and his first fight gets canceled, and that's the fight, his mandatory that people were looking forward to because Cody Crowley didn't pass medical eye exam or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, Eddie Hearn just lost the 5 versus 5 every single fight to Frank Warren. So it's looking bad for Rematch Room at this particular moment. And then now he has Terrence Crawford about to fight Madrimov. Terrence Crawford's a free agent, but Madrimov is his fighter. So if Crawford beats Madrimov, that's yet another guy tethered to his company who will lose a belt, you know? So we'll see how all this stuff plays out. He better hope Madrimov wins. He also had Deontay Wilder as a team captain, and his first fight working with Wilder loses by knockout to Zille Zhang. So 2024 is looking like the pits for Eddie Hearn so far. Not to mention he was brought in as a second set of eyes for Devin Haney, and Devin Haney got knocked down a gang of times and lost to Ryan Garcia. So again, this is all under Rematch Room's umbrella, basically. All these things happening. Not so good. So Liam Paro, he beat Subriel Matias. Eddie Hearn is now talking about Liam Paro versus Devin Haney, but I don't really think that'll happen because Richardson Hitchens is next in line for the mandatory for Liam Paro. And judging by what he said on social media, I don't think he's willing to step aside to allow a guy that's really his rival too, because Richardson Hitchens says he wants to fight Devin Haney as well. So I don't really believe that Richardson Hitchens will be open to the idea of Liam Paro fighting Devin Haney instead of him, when it doesn't seem like he likes Devin Haney himself because he wants to fight Devin Haney himself. So likely Richardson Hitchens will get a shot at Liam Paro before Devin Haney. Also, you got Devin Haney, who on Tuesday, his mandatory is Sandor Martin, and he's a long-standing mandatory, and the WBC has ordered this mandatory. So despite him losing to Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney kept his belt with the WBC, and they're telling him he needs to fight Sandor Martin. That's your mandatory. So these are definite hurdles that need to be discussed, because as far as I understand, if Devin doesn't fight Sandor Martin next, he probably has to give up his WBC belt unless he has a good explanation to keep Sandor Martin waiting. Furthermore, the Sandor Martin Devin Haney purse bid is scheduled for Tuesday, this Tuesday. Me recording the video, this is Monday morning, Monday the 17th. I haven't heard any other update, so if anything comes out after this, then that's that. But the purse bid is scheduled on Tuesday, the 18th of the month, June 18th. I don't know if I said May, but June 18th. So Devin Haney has choices right there with Sandor Martin. Sink or swim, are you going to fight him or not? So I don't know why Eddie Hearn's talking about the Liam Paro fight, but I wanted to put my 2 cents in. Don't really see it happening. Congrats to Liam Paro beating Subriel Matias. And it looks like a lot of damage is being done to Rematch Room fighters currently, especially like the promising ones. Again, Boots, his fight, I don't think he'll lose to David Avanesian, but it's a lesser fight than what was initially expected. But then as far as Subriel Matias, you lured him over, he loses. Same thing with Adam Kaunaki. You lured him over, he was working with PBC, and then you picked him up and he gets beat, and then the guy that beats him failed a drug test. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's looking like Drug Room USA instead of Matchroom USA. But a lot of things up in the open. 140 picture is constantly shifting. Devin Haney, he retained his title, but he lost bad. Ryan, he's still going through his investigation. Hitchens wants Liam Paro. Liam Paro, he seems pretty game to fight anybody. So we'll see what happens next, but it's definitely getting chippy. Gary Antoine Russell on the PBC side of things just lost to Albert Puello. So 140 is wide open. Wide open.